back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
Are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Pour, and today we have a Monday treat as it is the Barnes and Michael show. How are you, sir?
Oh, hey, dude. How you doing?
I guess, I heard from a specific source, Tony, maybe on the chopping block. You're ready. You kind of want to take over for him.
No. Tony is the best over here.
Of course.
I just, it's funny because I was going to do the show, I thought, by myself today. And
yeah.
I had a whole intro, whole everything ready because you didn't respond yet. And I was getting to like 10. And usually by then you respond, you're usually up and early, especially Monday.
Sopranos, late night,
which, I wish Tony was here to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's seen that yet.
No, I don't think so. But it's one of those things. To me, it's just such a no-brainer. I just think when people say that, it's like, what are you doing?
You know what's funny? I saw it I went to FYE to buy my last minute Christmas gift, Christmas Eve, which I was prepared for Christmas, by the way, folks. Yeah. I just was getting one more I could think of. Mm-hmm. And I saw The Sopranos in like season 1, 2, 3, 4 in like blocks for like $20, $15-20. I almost thought about getting the first 2 just to have here to be able to start watching. So I think I will. I have 5% off my next purchase there.
Wait, so. FYE still open?
Bro,
where?
At the Trumbull Mall.
It never closed?
Never. They just moved.
Oh.
It's basically, where the food court is?
Yeah.
Where you go down the Escalade? You go straight, and it's on the left.
Okay, because, I forgot. It was just, like, on the bottom floor. And is it, like, real small now compared to what it used to be?
Honestly, dude, it's pretty big.
It used to be. So maybe it hasn't moved because it was always on the bottom floor. But it was just,
no, but it was on the opposite side. I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Champs was.
Yeah. Okay. I remember, but no, it's still big. It's weird. It's like it's there. It's just there. I don't know why.
Yeah. But we got a lot to discuss here. Obviously, a big weekend of football.
Maddie goes, I guess you don't have a screen with you. Do you want me to plug that in for you?
No, it's fine.
I can when we get going.
Okay, yeah.
Because he says, dude, the logo top left looks like we're in Florida. You got to see. I switched it up today.
Okay, yeah.
I figured it's Christmas is over, so we're headed for summer now. I know it's a long ways away, but
so I think what a good idea is we'll head to the world of the National Football League, and you can take care of that.
Hey, yo.
6 for 101, 2 touchdowns. To Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay. How about that throw? Sam Darnold blasted. Oh my goodness, did he take a hit? In trouble once, brings him down. Lost one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down, touchdown.
All right. So kind of an interesting weekend in the National Football League with Christmas being yesterday. The majority of the games were played on Saturday, which is what they've always done. We'll talk about Baker in a sec. But starting with the games on Saturday, the first one here, really no surprise. And I know in our picks, I did actually take Chicago +8, but there was no reason to do that as the Bills steamroll the Bears 35-13. But they did trail 10-6 at half before outscoring the Bears 29-3 in the second half. So once again, the Bills winning the AFC East at 12-3. And right now they're in a dogfight to get that number 1 seed, which I think is very important to them. Because you think about, a looming rematch, you would imagine with Kansas City and the value of having a game at Orchard Park, potentially in the snow. I don't think you could beat that. So they're really gunning for that. We'll see what happens over the course of the next 2 games. I don't know if it's just the monitor, but it's like frozen. Okay. So really, Josh Allen, not as great of a game as he had the previous week, but enough to win 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 172 yards. They did a good job running the ball. Devin Singletary, who hasn't had a great year. He ran for 106. James Cook, Dalvin's brother, 11 carries, 99 yards as well. So as a team, 254 yards. So in frigid Chicago, the Bills get a big win there to clinch the division. Will go a long way in determining who will be the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is just so important these days, ever since they took away the second bye. So the Bills 35-13 over the Bears. The next game, not really playoff implications. I guess technically Saints still alive for the division here after a 17-10 win over the Browns. And it's just kind of funny, they show the list of most guaranteed money for quarterbacks, and like all of them are train wrecks in terms of, other than Patrick Mahomes. You look at what Watson's got, and in this game, in a loss to drop the Browns to 6-9, 15-31, 135, no touchdowns, a pick. I mean, he did have a rushing touchdown, but overall, since he came back, I mean, he's pretty much played the worst football of his career. The team has gone 2-2. He hasn't thrown for 300 yards and has only thrown 2 touchdown passes. I know it's been a long layoff, but you think about his contract, you think about Kyler Murray's contract, you think about Russell Wilson's contract. It has just not worked good for that heavy guaranteed money. The Saints had an interesting game plan for this one, obviously being cold in Cleveland. They just jammed the ball down their throat. 152 yards on the ground. Kamara led the way with 76, but Taysom Hill, 56 yards rushing and a touchdown. So they continue to utilize him. And I'm just curious. I just want to bring you in, Michael, for 1 second. And I know it might not be a big piece moving forward, but I just thought about it with Hill. Do you think that Streveler could be that in terms of just the special package guy? I kind of like at least giving it a try, because I know we had Tebow, but we didn't even give that a try. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love Tebow. Anybody that wins.
Right.
Barnes.
No, and I think if we did give him more of a chance, he really got screwed of his whole NFL career if you think about it.
He just won. Why does it matter how he does it?
Right. But they didn't even give him a start after that playoff game, after that throw to Demaryius Thomas to beat the Steelers. He never really got another starting opportunity. So, or just an opportunity on an active roster, other than that one season with the Jets. He was cut by the Eagles and the Patriots. So, I would like to see Streveler though, because I really think that, like, why not give it a try, especially if we're still figuring out our who's going to be our quarterback. I just like that change of pace. Is he going to throw? Is he going to run? Is he going to split out wide? I love the trickery. I think it's really good. So the Saints at 6-9, 1 game behind the Bucks, whose game we'll get to in a second. So still alive for the division, which is crazy to think about. All the change over the past couple of years, and obviously the big one this year. Not having Sean Payton, having Dennis Allen, but alive at 6-9 for the moment. The Chiefs keep rolling here, 24-10 over Seattle. And it's crazy how many games in a row Seattle has lost. I want to say it's 5 in a row. They're 7-8 now.
It's funny that you say that, because I saw a video on TikTok, like a hype video about Geno Smith, and it was dope. It was like really motivating. It was like one of those motivating videos, like it was called If a 30th for 30 was made about Geno Smith right now. And it was when they were like doing well or whatever, but it's just hilarious how it's all spiraled down.
Yeah. I mean, and overall, the numbers are still solid, but the wins just are not there. So something's, the teams have figured them out. In this game, he had 15 incompletions, 215 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Patrick Mahomes, 16-28, 224, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And again, Travis Kelce, 6 receptions, 113 yards. So as I mentioned, the Chiefs fighting with the Bills and Cincinnati for that number 1 seed. But obviously the Chiefs, a little bit of a disadvantage here. They need to win out, and those teams need to each lose a game, because they have the tiebreaker after beating the Chiefs in the regular season. But it is unbelievable with Mahomes this year. And you think, we got 2 games left. We'll see if he plays both of them. But he's thrown for 47-20 through the air, 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I know it's kind of high for him, but just the in and out every single season that he's just going off. And it's such a shame. And I know, he had a losing record in college. He wasn't the player that he was. And obviously Andy Reid really developed him. But it is so sad to think he was sitting right there for us.
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes in the draft. He was taken 10th or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like if I were to think, if we only got Steph Curry.
No, but what's funny? It's not with the Jets, but the Giants. I know Ben McAdoo was begging the team to take Patrick Mahomes, and they just didn't listen to him. So imagine how the course of history would change. Maybe Mahomes wouldn't even been good because I think about all the trash.
Stop.
No, but Mahomes like, is he like, besides Brady, like the greatest quarterback you've seen play or no?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he wins.
Yeah.
Because he's better than Tom Brady.
But he can make any throw.
Yeah, he's better than him.
Better than Rodgers.
Better than all of them.
Yeah.
He's the best, but he has to win.
But he's got a lot of time. I mean, he's 27 years old.
I know, but it's tough.
It is, but he's got easily 13 seasons left. So I think
that's tough to say. I hope so.
Yeah, but
barring no injury, yeah, because you never know, man.
Yeah.
Dude, just think about RG3 for I know he didn't get to be as big as he was, but that first year.
Oh, I thought he was ridiculous. But as well as me, the difference being Mahomes relying on his arm, RG3 relying on his legs, dude. You know it.
Yeah, you're right.
He's taking hits left and right.
Just like Russell Wilson, wow, Matthew Gabriel. Prefer Tim Tebow sucks. Well, no.
He sucks at baseball for the Mets.
If he went to the Yankees, he would have been good.
But it is amazing, too, just to move on from this Kansas City game. Travis Kelce, he's 33 years old now, 1,257 yards, 12 touchdowns this season, 97 catches. So obviously closing in on another 100 reception season. Since 2016, he's had 1,000 yards receiving in every season. It really is remarkable. And this guy, out of Cincinnati, he was a mid-round pick, third round, and it's just amazing. He's arguably one of the best tight ends in NFL history. So the Chiefs,
awesome.
They're going to be a tough out come playoff time.
Dude, they're probably going to win it. What is everyone talking about?
I would
Who's
like to
better
see
than them?
If the Jets aren't going to win it. I would like
San
to
Francisco.
See them. I mean, San Francisco, Cincinnati's beat them, Buffalo's beat them. So it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but I still like them against anybody at the same time. And especially losing those games.
What's tough, though?
Gives them more motivation.
The kryptonite for Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
His wife. And his brother on social media.
Everybody talks about that.
They're so
funny?
annoying.
No. I get it. So Pooch literally hates him just because of that. And I'm just like, listen.
Well, that's too much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I think they're really annoying, but at the same time, when I'm watching him play, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
I know.
Like, cut the BS out.
When I see him, I think of him and I think of his father.
Yeah.
Because of the Anita Marks thing I told you about.
Oh, yeah. So I just think that's kind of interesting. How about the Giants? Once again, I mean, the last 3 or 4 years, it seems like this happens at least once a year. A very back and forth game between them and the Minnesota Vikings. Seemed like they were going to win it for a while. Vikings go up by 8 late. Giants, drive down the field, get the 2-point conversion, but then at the buzzer, a 61-yard field goal sends the Giants home. In terms of the playoffs, especially with that tie, they're still in good position in the 6th seed right now. But just a gut-wrenching loss. They would have clinched a playoff spot with a win. And it's just kind of interesting. The Vikings, much maligned for a 12-3 team. You think about the point differential. A lot of people questioning how good they can be. And of course, with Kirk Cousins. But the one thing I do have to give Kirk credit for, and I understand a big spot, me included, we're all expecting him to fold, but he has rallied the team. I mean, you think about last week being down 33-0 to stick in this game, and the numbers are there. 34 of 48, 299, 3 touchdowns. And he's just very good at highlighting his talented receivers. Justin Jefferson, 12 catches, 133 and a score. TJ Hawkinson, a guy I always liked, the midseason trade with the Lions at the tight end position, 13 receptions, 109 yards. That's a guy I would love the Jets to have. And I know they brought in some guys. Conklin's not bad, but like, I don't know. I mean, your smile kind of tells it all, right? Like Uzama, Conklin. I mean, if they never played another down for the Jets, would you break a sweat?
No.
When did we have we had a playmaking tight end? I'm trying to think about it. Did Dustin Keller for a second?
Shush, no.
He wasn't terrible.
No,
though.
he wasn't. But no.
Anthony Becht back in the day. But, I think that playmaking tight end that's basically a receiver like Hawkinson, that's big. But
Anthony Becht. What a gem.
And in terms of both of these teams, I'm kind of curious your perspective here because you know what I'm going to say. But we think about Cousins folding in the big spot. Then we think about Daniel Jones, kind of just a perception of him. What would you say, Michael, a better shot at the Giants winning a playoff game or the Vikings winning a playoff game?
Giants.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like the underdog. And they're like, well,
Dable?
We weren't even supposed to be here. Yeah, Dable's a great coach. And the Vikings, dude, there's too many. That's too nervous over there.
Yeah.
It's big time games. You've seen it, especially, forget the course of his career, but like this season, it's happened and now it's the playoffs. Forget about it.
You know what's crazy though? You think about it, and you mentioned RG3 before. So Kirk Cousins was drafted kind of as like RG3 insurance way back in 2012. He was a 4th round pick. So obviously we know, he ends up seizing the job from RG3 by his 4th season. And, you forget about it. He's 34 years old. He's been around in the league 10 years.
Who's that, Kirk?
Yeah. He's thrown for over 36,000 yards.
No, I don't forget
250 touchdowns.
Dude.
I mean, that's a track record. I know he hasn't done anything in the playoffs, but those are numbers.
You must like Phillip Rivers. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's funny. I never specifically liked Phillip Rivers, but I did like those Chargers teams just because there was always talent, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No. And I know because you like old school stuff. LaDainian Tomlinson was the man, dude. He was so
the best
good.
running back to not win.
Yeah.
So,
and then we had a chance with him at the end. He was still pretty good for us.
He
I know he wasn't prime LT, but he was decent.
Dude, he surprised me. I was like, it was like almost like Rose with the Knicks.
Yeah.
Give you what you need.
So the Giants, I think, a win next week.
Renizzi
says, happy day after Christmas.
You too.
Good to hear from you, Renee. Giants home to the Colts next week. So you'd imagine win that game, and they should be all set for the playoffs, which is the job well done. And I don't even think Brian Dable's a favorite for Coach of the Year, but he should be. It's remarkable what he's done with this talent. And I guess people are saying they're convinced that Jones is this franchise quarterback. I personally just don't see it. And I think they're like holding themselves back. That's like us committing to another year of Zach. Like you just can't do it. I don't know, but I think they are. And we saw the Bengals 22-18 over the Patriots. And this was an interesting game where the Bengals led 22-0 at half and got shut out in the second half, but hung on. Patriots fumble at the end, did them in. So it's just interesting. I know too, New England, Belichick with the adjustments in the second half. It was cold, but you would have thought they would have been able to really handle them here and without this fade in the second half. But nevertheless, I mean, I'm a big Joe Burrow guy. I think he could, with Mahomes, with Allen. I mean, it's anybody's guess with those three going up against each other.
Dominique, I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
and then,
I don't know
Steelers
about
win this weekend.
Big win. I was watching that game.
Wahoo!
On Christmas Eve
That's
night.
how Renee sounds.
Now, I'm guessing just from what you said, Michael,
Yes.
Are you like Mahomes? Do you feel like he's in another stratosphere over Allen and Burrow, or do you think it's very tight at times?
I think it's Mahomes, Burrow, Allen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Like let's say it's like they're on a ladder and there's floors. He's just like on the third floor, Mahomes, the penthouse. And then
Burrow
is right below. He could get up If he wins a Super Bowl this year, he's going up there.
Yeah.
And hanging out there.
Yeah, especially to go to back-to-back Super Bowls after losing last year.
Josh Allen needs to get to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
To get to the second floor.
Yeah.
And then if he wins, he's going all the way to the first.
Yeah, exactly. So an exciting time, a lot of young talent at the quarterback position.
It is dope.
And this is a huge game for Cincinnati coming up on Monday. We'll see if they could beat the Bills and stay alive for that number 1 seed, because I think that would be very big for them. And as far as the Patriots are concerned, another loss really has just been a tough go of it since Brady left. And one more loss will officially eliminate them.
Did you see that? What's his name, the quarterback?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones called out the offensive coordinator and all that stuff.
But he is a joke, Patricia.
Yeah.
We saw him with the Lions. He was only good at defensive coordinator. He knows nothing about offense. So you can't blame Mac Jones on that one. I was surprised about this result. We saw Carolina 37-23 over Detroit. And this is despite Jared Goff, another great game, 3 scores, 355 yards.
The way you say you like him.
He's produced. I can't. I like this Lions team. They're exciting. I know they're only 7-8. But and it's interesting too with Goff, because he was kind of thrown away to the Wolves basically. And he was almost traded to Detroit just so the Rams could get rid of his contract. But I mean, their production is there. You look at it this year, he's closing in on another 4,000-yard season, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His QBR of 61.9 is 6th in the NFL. So he's had some success, and I think they're loaded offensively. DJ Chark had over 100 yards. You talk about Ross St. Brown. They didn't run the ball good in this one, but Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift are impressive. But how about Sam Darnold? He just keeps winning for Carolina. Nothing flashy. 15 out of 22, 1 touchdown, no picks. Found DJ Moore for that touchdown, but Carolina just runs the football. And it's like with guys, I mean, Michael, if I said these names, you would question if they were even in the league. Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, okay, both running for 120 yards.
Chuba Hubba.
Foreman for 165, Hubbard for 125. So as a team, 320 yards. So obviously the defense, that's the problem in Detroit. But Carolina, just like the Saints, at 6-9, alive for the division. Obviously, we'll need some help. We saw the Ravens 17-9 over the Falcons.
17-9.
Lamar Jackson, he misses another game.
He's coming
here.
to the Jets.
So
coming to the Jets.
Coming
to the Jets.
I don't
Why
know.
don't you like him? Why don't you like him?
I want
you don't think he would be hype city?
No. I want you to tell me what I would be concerned about. Go ahead. Because I know you know me. What do you think I would say? First of all, I think he's a great athlete, very exciting player. But what would I be worried about? Go ahead.
The passing.
Well, the passing.
Not being able to get you 400, 500 yards. But he's done that, hasn't he?
He's done it at times.
But I know it's just like his personality. I don't know.
No, you haven't even said it yet. I'm not even kidding. All that stuff I see. But what would be the one thing? Think about his game, how he plays.
Oh, injury prone.
Exactly, dude. It's like we were just talking about RG3. You know what I mean? I mean, you saw me playing Madden. I mean, did I not like using him?
Why did you have to say that? I forgot. I have PTSD.
So that would just be my concern. But hey, I mean, once he's here, it would be great to just go for it and do it.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't know, though, that at the same time, I feel like he's really stunted the development of his receivers. You know what I mean? Like with Garrett Wilson, I mean, I guess anybody's an upgrade from Zach, but I don't know. I just, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to mess with Garrett Wilson because I think Garrett Wilson is a perennial Pro Bowler year in, year out. And I just want whoever is going to take him to the next level.
Yeah, I know. Archie Manning.
No, but tell me.
When does he graduate?
Oh, it's funny when you said that. I thought you were talking about the fall, because that's his name. His name is Arch Manning, and Archie played on the Saints and is Eli and Peyton's dad and Cooper's.
So Arch Manning.
Yes, I think he's going to Texas.
Yes.
this upcoming.
So is he
season.
eligible after to leave?
No, 3 years
for football.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But football is a physical game, so it probably isn't the worst idea.
No, you're right. Imagine a
high schooler playing out there. But it's just kind of interesting. So we'll get, actually, they just flexed it into Sunday Night Football. They removed the Rams-Chargers game next week. So we'll get Steelers-Ravens this Sunday night. So obviously that's always a good game. And it's one of those rivalries where it doesn't matter how the teams are playing. Last time they played, it was a 2-point game. So we should see the same thing. Maybe Lamar will be back. That'll add some more juice to it. But I'm not impressed with this Ravens team. I mean, this is how they win games. Very ugly. I know the defense is playing well, and I know Lamar Jackson's out. Gus Edwards had 99 yards on the ground, Dobbins 59. So they ran for 184. But I just question, they need to lead the team down the field. They're down 10 in the fourth quarter. They're down 7 in the fourth quarter. Can they move the ball quickly without having to do gadget plays and just running the ball down the throat? Can they move it through the air? That's my biggest question with the Baltimore Ravens. 10-5, so looking good in terms of their playoff positioning. Cincinnati and Baltimore have both clinched playoff spots, so the division technically not over. But of course, Cincinnati with that inside track with the 1-game lead over Baltimore. In the Falcons here, I mean, going to Ritter just has not worked. I think they were thinking it would provide a spark. If they had stayed with Mariota, they might still be in this division race, but at 5-10, pretty much out of it here. And it's just going to be interesting. Ritter played, decent, 22 of 33, 218, and found rookie wide receiver Drake London 7 times for 96 yards. So Falcons 5-10. An upset that I called, and I don't know if you remember this, Michael, but on Friday I said Texans over Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill out. Texans get their second victory of the season, 19-14 over Tennessee. They did it really just kind of an interesting. I mean, you look at the numbers for them, and it's just like nothing pops off the page. Davis Mills, 178 through the air, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. They ran the ball 30 times for 70 yards. It's only 2.3 yards per carry. But Malik Willis, every time he's entered a game this year, just did absolutely nothing. 14-23, 99 yards, 2 interceptions. Derrick Henry, who had, I think, rushed for 200 yards 4 straight games against the Texans, was a $126 here. So another strong game, but with the inability to throw the ball, that was their downfall. And I had to give props to Derrick Henry. I said he was finished before the year. 1,400 yards on the ground, 1,429, 13 touchdowns. So he's had a great year for a guy with a lot of tread on the tires, and living up to his contract too, because a lot of times you pay these running backs, and they just go nowhere near the level of production that you were assuming. The Niners, 8th straight victory, arguably the hottest team in the NFL, and just like the most hype as we head into the playoffs. Brock Purdy, I mean, what a story. Obviously, he's won all of his starts since taking over for an injured Jimmy Garoppolo. 15-22, 234, 2 touchdowns and a pick. On the ground, Christian McCaffrey bottled up a little bit, but did have a rushing touchdown, as well as 2 receptions out of the backfield. George Kittle, another strong game. He's had an odd season, a couple big games. Other than that, kind of duds. I feel like he's a guy you like, George Kittle.
Blue collar.
But that's our guy that we need because he blocks.
What if we get it? What if we draft a low 4th, 5?
We drafted somebody. Who is he? I don't even know his name.
I know.
Has he played? Do you know who he is?
I don't like our coaching, Barnes. I tell you.
But you're telling me though we can't get just like the best offensive coordinator out in the market. We can't just keep Saleh as the head coach and just get a absolute wizard of an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, if Saleh doesn't act like,
because he's not calling the offense, you know what I mean? It's Mike LaFleur. Because I just feel like defensively he is a good coach. That's why I don't necessarily want to just.
No, he's a good leader of men.
Yeah,
I agree.
So we just need to get that offensive coordinator. I don't know where he's going to come from.
Yeah, where?
Should we just get Bieniemy and give him the associate head coach role? From the Chiefs, he's the offensive coordinator.
It's funny for the longest time I
for
thought
head coach you wanted him, right?
I thought his name was Eric the Enemy.
Oh.
I was like, that's a crazy name.
But what do you think about it? I mean, he's obviously.
I think he wants it. You don't think he's going to get a head coaching job?
Why hasn't he gotten one? Think about how long the Chiefs have been the Chiefs. Hasn't really been that close. I know he's had a couple interviews here and there.
I know.
So I don't know. Just kind of
Mark
interesting. But you know who actually really would be? And imagine too if they did get Lamar, and maybe bring in a couple other free agents, have a strong draft. Sean Payton. What would you think about that? mean, talk about offense. No,
You think he would go down to assistant? I mean,
no. I'm saying like just canning salad. They're not going to do it. But I'm saying,
bye.
Yeah, I mean, he's won a Super Bowl.
Dude.
Learned under Parcells. I feel like you respect Parcells.
Yes.
Even though
he gave us a shot, he tried. I know it didn't work out, but whatever.
Tough nose football coach.
Yeah, dude, New York is tough to win.
Yeah.
Why do you think it hasn't been done so often?
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of pressure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And people hate on the fans in New York that they'll hate you one day and love you the next. They always say that.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they expect greatness, and it's almost like tough love. Obviously, you ride for your guys, but if someone's struggling, you're gonna let them know you're struggling,
right?
And it's not acceptable.
How about this? Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft.
Yo, he's dope.
More touchdown passes than Zach Wilson this season, and he's only had like 4 starts.
I'm sure he has more touchdown passes in this season than Zach does his whole career. Bud.
Almost. But it is a story, and it's funny too. I know what you would say to this, and I would say the same thing. There was a thing out yesterday. I think I was watching the pregame for Sunday Night Football. And they're saying Jimmy Garoppolo could be ready for the playoffs. It's like, why would you mess with what's Purdy doing? Don't you think that would be a complete disgrace if they put Jimmy G back in there? I know he was doing fine, but I'm just saying, Purdy, the team's rallying, they're on a run. You don't mess with it.
I totally agree. That dude's a freaking stud. I love him. He's so humble. I watched him in an interview yesterday, actually, and George Kittle had to step in and say he was confident in OTAs. He was confident in preseason. And we just needed an opportunity, and he stepped in, and we felt that confidence as a unit, and that's why we are where we are.
Do you think there's any coincidence 2 of Kittle's biggest games this season were with Purdy at quarterback, and that's why I said that? No, because he really wasn't getting the ball, though.
Because Jimmy G is just fucking he's what Zach can't do is just throw to the side, throw to the middle, certain players.
I don't think he's available, but what type of capital would you give up for Kittle?
Nothing. How old is he? 31?
29.
Nah.
3rd rounder, you wouldn't.
Nothing.
Third. Wow.
Right now? Yeah. I guess maybe. Right now, yeah, I'd give him a 3rd rounder.
And the thing with him is too, he barely even caught the ball in college, went to Iowa, which has had a lot of tight ends come out of there, but 5th round pick. Like, I talk about this all the time in sports. You think about him as a 5th round pick. You think about Purdy, the last pick in the draft. It's just you have to hit on the draft. And, we've done that with certain positions. Other ones have been a complete disaster. But let me tell you, I almost want to say, Michael, I'm pretty much guaranteeing the 49ers are going to make the Super Bowl. I don't know.
What does that mean? You're pretty much almost guaranteeing.
No, I am guaranteeing. How about that?
How
about that? I'll take it
I like that.
Okay, good. I mean, no, because the defense.
No, they're great.
Game,
they got McCaffrey,
Kittle. And then Kyle Shanahan.
Don't they have the best defense in the league?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. D'Amico Ryans has done a good job taking over for Saleh as defensive coordinator. So Washington now 7-1, hanging on to that 7th seed in the NFC. Will have to win maybe even 2 games to finish out here. But Browns this week at home, and then home to the Cowboys. We'll see if the Cowboys play anybody. The Seahawks and Lions vying for that last spot in the NFC, and Carson Wentz made his return. He's been out for a while. Heineke didn't play bad, but they wanted to see what Wentz had, so he may start next week against Cleveland, but we will see. The last 4:00 game here, we saw the Cowboys 40-34 over Minshew Mania, but I have to say, Minshew played his ass off.
I want him on our team. I'll take him.
I said it.
I
was
love
talking
him.
about it. I was talking about it all day on Christmas Eve.
Dude, who did he get drafted to again?
Jacksonville.
Dude, when he was on Jacksonville and he had the shorts.
Mike Leach was the coach in college.
The stash, dude.
Yes, Minshew Mania.
Yeah, I need that. Why don't we get him?
I literally, he's a free agent. He's a free agent. Don't need to trade anything.
Oh, that's the move, dude. Yeah, they're going to do it.
With the offensive coordinator, though. Get a solid offensive coordinator in there.
Dude, I'm so hyped for next season.
No, and then
if it's Minshew,
Tony will be in for Halloween next year.
He loves wearing shorts in the winter, so it's perfect.
There you go. So it was right down to the wire. They come up just short. 2 picks. I think one of them wasn't even his fault, but he threw for 355. This is a guy that hasn't really seen the field all season, and found his receivers. Devonta Smith, unbelievable, 2nd year out of Alabama. crossed the 1,000-yard receiving threshold, 8 receptions, 113, 2 scores. A.J. Brown, I knew it was, I don't know why he wasn't more sought after in the offseason. Tennessee couldn't wait to get rid of him. Look where they are. Look where the Eagles are. This is a different league. I think we prioritized different things a few years ago, but receivers are so much more important than they ever were, because your quarterback doesn't even need to be Patrick Mahomes, but if you have these receivers like Brown, like Smith, I mean, you could accomplish anything on the field because they're that good. You got to just put it in the vicinity and they'll catch it. But they come up just short here. So the record now 13-2. Dak might have had his best game of the year, 27-35, 347, 3 scores, 1 pick. They ran for 115 and a score. I think Ezekiel Elliott's 6th straight game with a rushing touchdown. The yards per carry haven't been great, but he does have 11 on the season. CeeDee Lamb, one of those younger receivers that you knew coming out of the University of Oklahoma, was going to be big time. 10 catches, 120, and 2 scores. Michael, who do you think is a better team come playoff time, Dallas or Philadelphia?
Philly.
And it is
Jalen.
But it's Jalen, but also is it Dallas? Like, is it just like a Dallas playoff thing?
They have a curse on them for being so gung-ho. Their fans.
Jerry,
it's karma.
Every time in the booth, like after the playoff loss.
Dude. You know what my favorite thing is? So first of all, I just want to say shout out Eli Manning because of so many things. The 2 times with the Patriots.
Right.
Just like so many. But this one was dope where, what's his name again, the owner?
Jerry Jones?
Jerry. Jerry Stadium. It's called...
Jerry's World.
Jerry's World is the stadium.
Yep.
And it was the first game there, and the Giants beat them 33-31. And Eli, it's still in there, signed on the wall somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Eli Manning, first win in the air, 33-31.
I remember that, actually. Yeah.
That's
funny. Yeah, that stadium.
He's a legend, dude.
Opened in 2009 or 2010. Maybe 2009. And then the last game of the night, Renee mentioned it. Obviously, Chokery was riled up about it.
Who was quarterbacking?
Kenny Pickett.
Nice.
13-10 over the Raiders in a very interesting game. It was so cold in Heinz Field, but it was a packed house. They were retiring Franco Harris's jersey at half, so his widow was out there. It was just kind of sad. And, the president of the Steelers, Dan Rooney, was saying, like, this isn't right. Franco's supposed to be here. But it was like he really was there as the Steelers struggled all game. We're down 10-3 at half, missed a couple field goals, but outscored the Raiders 10-0 in the fourth quarter and won the game on a 14-yard pass, Pickett to Pickens, a combination that the Steelers fans are hoping to see for the next 10 to 15 years to win this game 13-10. Derek Carr, another pedestrian game, and they were talking about it on the way in on NFL radio, how the interceptions, they hit off, 2 of them hit off the receiver's hands. But I just feel like every time with Carr, we take out last season, and even including last season, because sure, they rallied at the end of the year, make the playoffs, but once again, not doing anything in the playoffs. And it's just the Raiders under Carr have been very mediocre. You think about the talent that they brought in this year too, the resurgent season that Josh Jacobs is having Devontae Adams. And I know, listen, the conditions weren't favorable in this one.
Oh, but Devontae Adams said it's a part of the script.
What do you mean a part of the script?
You know how the NFL is rigged.
I don't remember him saying this.
He said, I saw it on TikTok actually.
But were you talking about the game plan that he wasn't going to get the ball or something?
No, just like
because of Franco Harris and stuff.
Whatever, just like they have to stick to the script. He said it's so frustrating because they have such a good team and but they have to stick to the script.
No, but I think he, I get what you're saying, but he also might have been talking about, because of the conditions, they were going to run the ball more, but they didn't even run it that good. 58 yards on the ground. But Adams, 2 catches, 15 yards. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that.
This is his boy.
And I'm just kind of interested to see going forward. The Raiders 6-9, not officially eliminated, but pretty much from the playoffs. What they're going to do going forward, because you could move on from Derek Carr. Josh McDaniels obviously hasn't impressed his first year, but he can use the excuse as Carr's not the guy to get me to the promised land. Now, I know they both have not had good years, but if you had to say who's more at fault for the Raiders' lack of success this year, is it McDaniels or is it Carr?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd say 50-50.
Yeah. But if you just, you had to, like, you were the owner, what move would you be making here at the end of the year?
I don't know. He got bit a tough, you know, pill to swallow because of all that happened with the prior coach. What's his name again?
John Gruden.
John Gruden. That was a
Yep.
whole 10. There's supposed to be 10 years.
Right. And,
he was supposed to stop right there and not even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And now he's dealing with all this shit. And that whole team is kind of set back because of that. Still.
Yeah.
That I knew it was going to take them years to get. That was tough.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say, though, and you know I've said this forever, is the players play the game. So I just feel like it's at the end of the day, Carr is always at the helm for a mediocre product. You know, he brings in his best friend in Devontae Adams, and he still can't figure it out, can't find him at the right time. So if it were me and I was making decisions for the Raiders, I would franchise tag Josh Jacobs if that's a possibility. I know he'll probably be pretty tight about that. You know, a 1,500-yard rushing season. He's only 25 years old, so I guess you could give him a 3-year deal, but he's going to want a lot of money. So the franchise tag, if you could get away with it, would be the easiest thing. But I love Waller. I love Renfro. Obviously, we know what Devontae Adams is. Mac Hollins is even pretty good. Get me a different quarterback. I just, and it's like Carr, it's like we talk about like what the Jets are going to do. I mean, I wouldn't even consider Carr for a second over Minshew, like we were just talking about. I just think he's just not good enough. And it's a shame because he's shown flashes, almost won that MVP back in, I think, 2016, if it wasn't for the broken leg. But just another long season for the Raiders. You look at the Steelers, 7-8 now, still alive for one of those last wild card spots in the AFC. We'll finish at Ravens and then home to Browns. So you think about the Ravens, you think about the magnitude of that rivalry. Sunday night football. So I think once again, that'll be a really, really close, tight, contested game. And it's anybody's guess. I mean, like I said, last time out at home, the Steelers lost 16-14. I expect a similar margin of victory. And if they win that game, I mean, Browns week 18, you've historically done very well against the Browns. I think you're in pretty good shape there. So believe it or not, that was just Saturday, and we had 3 games yesterday. The first one, and it's funny, it's just we considered the Packers done, over a month ago easily.
I didn't.
They have to give you credit. You never said they were out.
Which was just like blasphemy. I was just pulling it from my butt.
But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and 26-20 over Miami. They shut out the Dolphins in the second half, and this is after trailing 20-13 at halftime. And Rodgers continues the longest streak of his career to begin a season of 15 games without a 300-yard passing game. He did throw for 238, a touchdown and a pick. He did find Mercedes Lewis for his only touchdown of the game. Christian Watson left this game with a hip injury. He looks like he could be developing into a big-time receiver, though. 6 receptions, 49 yards. Lazard, 5 for 61, did have a big drop. And it's just interesting. You would have thought to win this game, they'd have to run the football pretty well, considering Rodgers has struggled through the air. They only ran for 79 yards, but the defense stepped up. Mason Crosby made his field goals when he needed to. And at 7-8, and finishing out the season with Minnesota and with Detroit, the Packers win their next 2 games they're in. So that's just very interesting. And who knows, maybe that Packers-Lions game will be scheduled, flexed into the last game of the season, Sunday Night Football. We'll see. But for now, they host the Vikings next week in a must-win game. You think about Cousins coming to Lambeau, and just the way that things seem to work in the NFL, I'd be hard-pressed to think that they're going to fall to the Vikings. I know the Vikings have had a lot better season, but pretty impressive stuff out of them. And how about, we think about the fall from grace that the Jets have had. How about the fall from grace that the Miami Dolphins have had, Michael? I mean, Tua, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, shut out in the second half. And this is with having 2 of the best receivers in the NFL, and Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, both over 100 yards. But just in crunch time, just not enough. And the crazy part is, so they beat the Patriots next week. We win our game, this week against Seattle. Then all it is the winner of the game between the Jets and the Dolphins. That's who's going to get that last playoff spot. So it's just very interesting to see. I mean, and they had that game against the Texans where they were up 30-0, and once again shut out in the second half. Won that game 30-15, but then they've lost 4 straight games, blown out by the Niners, lost by 6 to the Chargers, lost by 3 to the Bills, and then 6 to the Packers here. So, kind of a similar trajectory that we've had. Obviously, you would say the talent on their team is better than ours, but at the end of the day, we have the tiebreaker right now and would have it for the season if we beat them in week 18. So very surprising result there. Be interesting to see if the Packers can keep this run going. And who had mentioned Baker in our comments? Was it Buffer? Was it Matthew? No, I thought someone commented about it too. No,
did they?
Go up top, no? Or it was just you saying it?
Just me.
Okay.
Brady sucks. Maybe that's what you thought.
Okay, that could be
Matthew.
But I mean, are you kidding me?
Dude.
51-14.
He was probably dancing all over that field.
And then how about Baker? 24 of 28, only 4 incompletions, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball effectively. He found his tight end Tyler Higbee for 2 scores, 9 catches, 94 yards. And the Rams have really been the biggest disappointment, biggest embarrassment in the NFL. A defending champion, having 5 wins up to this point. But obviously, I mean, Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp. I mean, and then Aaron Donald not playing. That's a big reason why. But really, we know the biggest embarrassment in the league is the Denver Broncos, is Russell Wilson. Another terrible game. I guess he was getting into it with his backup quarterback as well. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, sacked 6 times, benched late in the game. And I mean, I don't know. We talk about like the Carr McDaniels, who's at more fault. I mean, I guess if we're talking Broncos, we're talking Hackett, we're talking Wilson, would you say equal dumpster fire? Or at the end of the day, like I said about the players playing the game, that this performance from Wilson, how he's alienated his teammates, it's just a complete embarrassment. It might be, you think about all sports, Michael, NBA included here. Is this the biggest fall from grace you've ever seen? Not that he was so liked before, but just in terms of
Russell
performance and just, what people thought of his ability on the field.
Dude, it's crazy. Dude, it's so funny. I watched a TikTok and he was at the podium and he's like, whatever.
After this game.
Yeah. And he said, all right, thanks so much. And he goes,
4-11, let's ride.
He did the let's ride, but he couldn't do it at the microphone. He still had to say the let's ride.
No, I swear too, like just in terms of a player having to be on a team, this is going to be the most interesting season upcoming because they can't cut him. They can't cut him or trade him. It would be $100 million dead cap hit to get rid of him. So it's like you would think the only move is to fire Hackett. And just get some coach that's gonna, spark something in him because this team, the defense is good. I know they got torched in this game, but they've had a really good year on defense. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is going to be a star. He had 6 receptions, 117 yards. Really like Cortland Sutton. If he could stay on the field, he could be pretty good. And then Javonte Williams out for the year, but he's going to be good for Denver. But no one saw this coming. From a million miles away, that's for sure. We saw Tommy and the fellas rally a 10-point fourth quarter deficit in overtime, 19-16 over the Cardinals. And, obviously the play at the end of the game, rallying to win, kicking that field goal, all great, and an inside track at winning the division. If they could win their last 2 games here. But it's just like, how do you struggle with the Cardinals? I mean, they're down to their 3rd string quarterback, Trace McSorley, who had 19 incompletions or 21 incompletions actually yesterday. And the Cardinals are just a mess. Kingsbury might as well start packing his stuff now because there's no way he's coming back next year. But the numbers for Brady: 16 incompletions, 281, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. But Leonard Fournette really had a big game here. 72 on the ground, 90 through the air. And Brady with that touchdown to Rashad White in the 4th quarter. to send this game into overtime. And we've seen this. We saw it, on Monday Night Football against the Saints a couple of weeks ago, where, it's like they're on the brink of just a complete disaster or loss, and then he finds a way to rally them. I just don't think it's sustainable come the playoff time. And you think about what's going to happen. It's interesting, too. In the NBA, I think they kind of switch this around, but the NFL hasn't done anything where a team could win the division at, let's say 8-9, and then there's a wild card team that's 12-5, and the team that wins the division will host them. So that's what would happen here, and most likely it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Will get that first wild card spot, and Tampa will host them. But I honestly, I know Dallas playoffs. I'm kind of interested your thought here, Michael. What do you think? If it's in Tampa, Dallas versus Tampa, what do you think happens?
Tampa.
But even though, but you've seen it this year, though. Even like this win, it's so ugly. They struggle to score. Dallas, has a really good defense. But is it just you expect, like, just when they need it, even though the numbers won't be pretty, Brady with the drive down the field? Is that what it is?
Oh, dude, yeah, it's scripted.
Easy with the script, Michael. Easy with the script.
No, I really do think Brady's done it. I don't think it's. I don't know. I just
they have no shot at winning anything this year.
No, but I think they could sneak a Dallas playoff loss.
And then Philly the next week lose by 35.
Probably.
Yeah. Because the team Bowles, of course, at the helm. We know all about that too well. So that was the 3 games yesterday. One more game left here in week 16. We have the Chargers, we have the Colts, Monday Night Football. Colts, the host team here, 4-point road home underdogs here. Nick Foles making his first start of the year. Jonathan Taylor out for the season with that injury last week. So you look at this game, and I know it's the NFL, and a lot of times, the opposite of what you expect happens. And it almost seems like a trap line that the Chargers, 4-point favorites. We saw the Colts last week blow a 33-0 lead. They're going to a guy who's playing for the first time this season. You think about Jeff Saturday. You think about the best player, Jonathan Taylor, being out for the year. I don't know how they can win this game. And like I said, I know it's convenient, but the Chargers, looking to solidify their spot here in the AFC playoffs. And Justin Herbert is one of those guys I think with some playoff success can get into that penthouse level, with Mahomes, with Allen, with Burrow, but just needs to do it in the playoffs because that hasn't happened yet. And if you just look at, where they're positioned in the playoffs this year, right now in the 6th seed, and it looks like, Baltimore should have that 5 seed. So pretty much, the Chargers winning this game tonight would pretty much, solidify their spot in that 6th seed. I know some stuff can happen where they might drop down to 7, but you think about the 6th seed, they would play actually at Cincinnati. So that would be a really good matchup there. Burrow versus Herbert. Herbert's another guy. Oh man, would he be great as a Jet quarterback? And you never know, though. You think about the dysfunction of the Chargers organization. We'll see how they finish out this year. We'll see what they do next year. But I think it is conceivable to say, and obviously we might have our quarterback by then, but give it another year. Maybe the coach gets fired. I could see a universe where Justin Herbert finds his way to the Big Apple, and I think he would be maybe the best quarterback in franchise history in terms of a talent perspective.
Maybe?
What about Broadway Joe? Vinny? Were you a Vinny guy, honestly?
Huge. Love Vinny.
Over Chad or no?
Chad, dude, forget Chad. You probably loved him but he got hurt.
I actually always liked Testaverde just because it was like he couldn't stay healthy, and I was so excited. Like, oh, could Vinny just get like a full year? What's gonna happen? And then it's just
I know he was a warrior. Those teams were awesome. We had talent.
You know what we didn't have? Coach Herm.
Apparently not. When I thought we did all these years.
Oh man. But I guess in terms of this game, obviously the last one of the week. I got to go with the Chargers, and I know it's too convenient, but I'm going to say 35-17. Justin Herbert, 3 touchdown passes. Austin Eckler, 150 yards from scrimmage. Chargers go to 9-6, and maybe Jeff Saturday doing what Jim Irsay wanted them to do, more of just a fill out of the locker room, but trying to lose, trying to get as high of the draft pick as possible, because it's clear that they are going to need to draft a signal caller come this NFL draft. So just something to keep an eye out for. So I hope it's entertaining. I'm questioning it, but I guess we will see what happens.
Guess so.
And so that's really what we got on the NFL, Michael. I'm curious though, did you catch any of the games on the hardwood yesterday, specifically first one of the day, maybe around noontime?
In the world of the national.
The Bulls go. LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
All right.
Okay, yeah, no, we're good. I just wanted to make sure that you were coming through.
I saw that Joel had 30. I heard that the Mavs had a 51 third quarter. 51-point third quarter. The statue of Dirk is epic. And it says on the bottom, loyalty never fades away.
Yep. It's true.
It's pretty fire. Dallas beat the Lakers and Knicks lost to Philly. Jokic apparently put up 2K numbers, and there was that dunk Aaron Gordon had that was crazy. But yeah, I didn't really watch any. What highlights?
I'm just curious because I know
Golden State, Clay pointed looking at.
I saw that interview.
I love. No,
did you see the interview though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right.
No, I feel like this is what you said. The Warriors are gonna get back to the finals.
That's all they needed, baby.
No, I'm just curious because I just feel like right now, as a sports fan, like it's interesting because obviously the teams have been worse, but I feel like you're feeling some type of dejectiveness from it, and I'm just curious. Let's start with like the Knicks, for instance.
Why am I not into it?
No, I'm saying who, what, how, like, because I mean, I know for a while, you were kind of hoping that Zion would join the team.
That's all I want.
But I don't think that's going to happen, obviously, with that extension last year. So taking that out of the picture,
there's no one I want.
Obviously, Bol would be great. But it can't be, there's no one else I want. Like, I'm just folding. Like, there's got to be, like, in the realm of possibility.
Motivates me right now for this Knicks team. There's nothing that gets me hyped about this team.
This team, but I'm saying so like
there's nothing. If we get Bol or a Zion or someone of that caliber that's young, that's like a superstar in the making for the next 10 years, then I'll be hyped. RJ's been playing really well.
I was going to mention that.
He is
scoring a lot.
He's been doing very well, and I knew he would. He just needed to get back in the flow. But I just need someone with him. He can't do it all by himself, and I don't like Julius at all, like for our team. He needs to go somewhere else with like an older unit around him.
Would you almost like give him up for like not that much? Or are you still holding out hope, has some more good play that you could get a decent package?
New Orleans? Are they winning?
I think they're one of the top teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
I know Zion's missed some games. You were just saying it because you hope they were tanking. So
they're second.
Dude, they're having a good year.
Clearly.
But I'm just trying to think like of who would be available. Like, I guess it would start with just like struggling teams. I mean, any chance on a Dame, or Dame is just like, he wants to stay in Portland for his whole career. And he just, right?
I have Jalen Brunson. Why am I going to do midget and Hobbit on the NBA court as my backcourt?
You know the NBA these days, though. You could have 4 guards.
That defensively is a nightmare.
So there's got to be somebody, though. What if there was just some way?
Why can't we get Bol? They suck. They're 13-21. Like, why can't we
possible? It just, you know as well as me that just people don't see it the way we do.
But dude, I sent you the stuff.
Yeah.
Clearly Orlando sees
No,
it.
I've looked at the box scores.
How
I've seen
funny
the highlights.
The bull, the song that's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, awesome! I will definitely. Sorry. By the way, we have a lot of. I just want to shout out our fans because we're sending. We just finished our giveaway, and I'm writing their addresses, dude. We have fans in Virginia, South Carolina, Pennsylvania. What's MO? Missouri?
Missouri, yeah.
Missouri and Maine, dude.
Wow.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Like this is just like that I know of that we're shipping to. That's pretty sick.
And then we know we have fans in North Carolina.
Oh my god!
And a special shout out to Choker and Jennifer.
Yes.
They celebrated Christmas in London,
Wow.
and actually Jennifer's making her first trip. You know,
Why?
Because they're making their first trip together to Morocco, and you know how
Cool.
Choker's
do
from
layover?
there. Yeah, so they're in the air right now. So I'm
Oh,
sure
awesome.
maybe Choker's watching right now, or he's gonna catch up later. But we really hope they have a great time there.
Is it her first time there?
It's her first time there. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's cool stuff.
Mhm.
For sure. But yeah, fans all over. We love it. And we really appreciate it. And we really are excited to keep adding more to the collection day by day, week by week. But I was just trying to kind of, look at the standings and just thinking about, teams that are struggling. And obviously, like you said, Bol isn't in a winning situation there. What I was going to actually ask you, I'm just kind of curious your thoughts. I kind of think it's going to be a no-brainer, but I want to ask you anyway, because I think you have this thing where if a guy, you draft him, you've seen him develop, and you just don't want to let him go, in a package, would you give up RJ for Anthony Edwards? I don't
honestly, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's just Edwards can be the face of the NBA.
Oh yeah.
But he needs to get out of there.
Dude,
they
out
can't
of there.
figure it out. They can't, no matter what. Coaches, players.
There you go, Barnes. You finally did it.
There we go.
All right.
And he's talking smack about the team and interviews
I
and
love
stuff.
it. But yeah, they're 10th. Yeah, no, he's great. He's just an athlete, dude.
So
it's
not
ridiculous.
and not obviously because you're not going to trade the whole roster, but is it pretty much for him you would trade anyone on the roster?
If I said RJ, I said that's everyone.
Okay, so
anyone.
Even if it's like RJ, Grimes, Quickly, and Randall.
Not Grimes.
What is because
Because they're fucking studs.
But
dude.
what? Give me a comparison. Like him at his peak. What is he? Quentin Grimes. Who is he?
Quentin Grimes and McBride.
Okay.
McBride is like another Jalen.
Okay.
But more athletic.
Yep.
And McBride is like, what's his name?
Grimes.
Grimes is like Clay.
Okay.
Clay Thompson, but maybe pre ACL and Achilles tear.
Okay.
He's just a workhorse. He loves the game, and he's getting the opportunity now. And he's Drano. Have you seen him shoot the ball?
I've seen a couple. Yeah.
He's got a great jumper. He could catch and shoot. That's the best thing is like on the fast break, he could stop at a dime and pull up from 35 feet. Catch and shoot, I'm saying, or whatever, dribble, pull up, and drain it. And you can trust that. So I'd keep him.
But yeah, I feel like that's kind of what it is too. Just because if you think about,
imagine Anthony Edwards for RJ and whatever you said.
Well,
and then
Randall. But then,
all right, then Randall.
But no, but what if it's with Randall? But you have to give one of those guys.
No. Forget that.
No, what if you have to though?
No. Hold on.
No. What if they said that's it? That's it. You really wouldn't?
Which one? RJ and
no.
Randall?
So RJ, Randall, and then either Grimes or McBride. But then he's
what the fuck?
But then he's yours. I'm just because come on, you think about the offseason with Mitchell. They didn't want to do that, and I know. I think though this team would have 7-8 more wins with Donovan
Anthony
Mitchell.
Edwards. Hold on. Yeah, you're right. Anthony, you're so right. Anthony, right now, definitely. They'd be like a 4th seed. Anthony Edwards. Is he saying that he's staying for good? He's going to sign a long-term extension?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and then how about another layer? You're going to hate this part.
No, I don't.
You already know. I think you know what I'm going to say. So they'll do the deal. You have to give up Grimes and McBride and obviously RJ and Randall, but you have to take back Gobert.
No, you're crazy, dude.
I don't know, man. You're telling me though, just to get that's the thing though. Edwards
I
in
would
the
take
building.
Gobert. No, Julius. Keep Julius so I could trade him to Orlando for Bol with another deal.
And the reason I was saying
Imagine
that,
Bol and Anthony Edwards on the Knicks.
oh my God.
Make it happen.
No, but I mean, some pieces are going to have to be moved there. We've talked about this before, but you think it's Cat's fault because he doesn't lead?
Yeah, I hate to say that. He's not KG, I'll tell you that. Imagine if prime KG was on this team right now.
Oh my God,
it'd be over.
But they've just had such a collection of talent. I know this year, I mean, they're one game under 500, but you just think about who's on that roster. It really is crazy that they haven't been able to generate more. Jaden McDaniels, I mean, we've got a bunch of his cards before. I mean,
I know he's supposed to be something.
What about Russell? Not for the Knicks, but just in general. What's your thoughts there on Russell?
It's tough. I mean, I thought he was going to go there and light it up with his boy, Cat.
Yeah.
Nothing's really happened.
Did you check your phone, Tony?
I think Brooklyn hurt him. Oh God, I can't wait to see this.
Brooklyn hurt him, or Izzy Azalea, or whatever her name is, and Nick Young hurt her.
What an asshole!
I know Tony's watching right now, so this is like when I was recording him for like a story on Instagram. He would go, "Yeah, Brian."
Oh man. Tony Baloney.
I think he's just getting nervous about returning to the helm tomorrow. I think that's the thing. That's the thing. Too much cheesecake over the weekend.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%. I hope he brings some with him.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, I did say that on Twitter. So, it seemed like he would oblige. I don't really know, but yeah, it's interesting with Russell because I always really liked him in college. I thought he was great. Speaking of that, no, but in all seriousness, Michael, would you honestly, because I know you have like your things that just will do it for you, like Edwards coming over, for instance, like Zion coming to the Knicks, like the Jets getting Minshew, UConn basketball. Will you be riled? Let's say they run.
Dude, did you see that dude? That
Sanogo?
Jackson Jr. on UConn.
I didn't know that, because I know Sanogo.
I think this is a dude, and he's like an acrobat. Really.
But I'm saying, will you get into the run? Honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while. But right now, 12-0, number 2 in the country. Next game Wednesday, they're hosting
Andre
Villanova.
Jackson, I think.
Oh, okay. So their leading scorer, Adama Sanogo, 18.6 points a game. And this is actually gonna be XL Center, 6:30 on Wednesday. But I mean, we talked about it. You think about ever since Hurley's came over, to coach UConn, it's been disappointing in terms of they haven't done anything in the NCAA tournament.
He's changed the culture though.
He has, and he's really developed a solid team. I mean,
yeah, he's gotten finally people to come there.
And you think about how college, scoring is lower. They play less minutes on the court, but they have 7 guys that average at least 7 points a game. So they're just very deep. And it's funny, Jackson Jr. He's only averaging 5.6 points a game, but there's so many guys he's competing with playing time wise. And you've just seen a variety of guys, go off at different times. And it's just so impressive that, they're able to do this. So Sanogo 18.6, Hawkins 14.3, and then Newton 10.2. It's just on the precipice of being the number 1 team in the country. And just kind of what we've seen over the years between, Purdue, whether it's basketball, football, you'd expect to fade. So this is a really good opportunity for UConn. And it would just be such a story too, because if you look at it, I know Sanogo, so he's a junior. And I know he's projected somewhere in the first round, Michael. You're telling me it wouldn't be perfect. UConn, undefeated national champions, first since Bob Knight in Indiana, and then Sanogo stays local, the New York Knicks. Do you know Sonogo?
Of course, I know Sunogo. Dude, he before he got injured, I was so hyped about him. Right, he took the year off because he tore his ACL. The same guy.
No, I think you're thinking of a cock.
A cock.
Right.
Tony would die.
Yeah, of course. But he's too busy taking freeze frames of me on the show. You know.
Oh, I know. It's really weird.
But yeah, 6'9". He's from Mali, actually. But yeah, so I think they are definitely in the driver's seat. It's kind of interesting too. Their top competition this year, Providence in second here at 10-3, and then Xavier 10-3. Villanova, without Jay Wright, 7-5. But yeah, and I'm sure Matt's told you too. I mean, there was just nothing like going to Eastern. And then once the NCAA tournament started, we watched all the games on campus at UConn. Just the excitement. There really is nothing like March Madness. And I know, we kind of shy away during the regular season, but once the tournament starts, I mean, tell me, even the conference tournaments or the end of the regular season, is in terms of basketball, Michael, like it could be Knicks in the finals. There's nothing like that packed 10,000 seat arena, not one person sitting, and then, them doing like the fight songs and just the enthusiasm that you get on a college campus. I don't think that excitement can be matched. If you think about it compared to the NBA, there's never a situation where you get that type of atmosphere when everyone's doing the
I could see where you're coming from.
Why can't we get? I feel like that's what the NBA needs to get the eyeballs back. Why can't we get that?
I don't know.
Tell me. I want to know.
The NBA is crazy right now. It's all over the place.
Is it in trouble?
It is not. Maybe with China. Anthony busy taking freeze hit frames. Haha, it's a picture.
But
Brian.
Isn't it a freeze frame too?
Yes. Good rising, fellas. NBA first time, long time.
NBA first time, long time. Tony, how excited are you for NHL 2023?
I'm excited. I'm nice at that.
I'm so tight, Bill, because you guys are gonna kick my ass, honestly.
Oh, definitely, especially me.
It's just such a hard game to play, though. I feel like it's the hardest sports game to play.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But that's gonna be great. The updated rosters. So we're definitely pumped about that. How are you gonna feel, Michael? Honestly, we're just talking hockey now. I'm just thinking about this. What will be your level of excitement? Rangers Devils first round NHL playoffs.
Very excited. We got to
locked in.
We have
game
to
by
do.
game.
We're gonna figure out a place to do the first playoff preview.
Okay.
Game that at a bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Our last satellite, was it at Whiskey Barrel for the Rangers playoffs?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Wow, Ben.
Nobody really cares.
Oh, Michael. That you're mistaken there.
We got to go to another sports bar. I've been thinking about that for sure.
Though, what's the spot? Archie's doesn't have the space. Archie's would be so good if they had the space, but I just
they do in that corner though by the bar. You know, Fairfield.
Corner,
no, Fairfield. Like when you first walk in, to the left, maybe.
No, but not because the bar is to the left.
I know, but they have that whole area there with like just one table there, a high top.
Okay.
It's a 4 top, and we could have Tony or so producing over there by the bar at the end of the bar. Archie's would be sick, but we got to find a place that we could come in the first week of the month and do our show there every month, knowing that.
Yeah.
We got to think.
You know what's a shame? It's too bad they're not Archie's anymore. The one in Derby, the upstairs area.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
I know. Local has an upstairs area.
Could we bring outside food in?
I know, right? Exactly.
How do they stick around?
I don't know. Honestly, they're so trash.
But what if they did give us that upstairs area? I mean, it would be kind of cool, no?
It would be. No, it'd be very cool.
I mean, do you still have connections over there?
Or
just more of the kitchen?
Some of the yeah, exactly. Because the kitchen stays, or if they don't, they come back.
Okay.
But the front of the house, it's a whole new world.
And you know what we could just do too in the interim while we pick out the perfect sports bar is the bowling alley, because I know Tony's itching to get back on the lanes.
He is.
And I just feel like Norwalk will have us anytime. No.
Oh,
like midweek.
Oh yeah, we could go anytime. They're so chill over there. But I want to find a restaurant bar.
I'm just trying to think of like spots in the area. It's a shame too that the what's your spot?
Little Goose.
Yeah, then it's doesn't
tiny.
have the footprint. Like we would almost have to rent out the restaurant for the night.
Literally.
But that would be, imagine having a show from there though.
Oh, I
And
know.
then the
that,
food, the espresso martinis.
That place is the best,
Just,
dude.
you think there's no way it's just the footprint?
It was too small for us, dude.
What
about that place on that bar, that sports bar on the post on Fairfield Ave that opened up next to Aspetuck and Stoked? Honk if you're stoked.
I'm trying to think where you're talking about.
It's right over here. When Post Road turns Fairfield Ave, it's a Blue Rhino or
Blind Rhino. I've never been in there.
See, maybe you got to venture there.
Yeah, it's. Don't you think it's weird because we have like all of like the good Italian places, a lot of Mexican restaurants. I feel like there's not a ton of sports bars around here. No.
Not good ones.
Because, like, obviously, Wild Wings, National
Archie's is not really a sports bar, I'd say, but it's the closest thing that has good food.
Right. Yeah. It's bar food that's like top notch.
Oh, so good.
You know what? Actually, Archie's in Milford has like a
they
decent
do
amount of
have
space.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like we gotta wait a while, but summertime, I feel like we get
the
the patio.
Yes, definitely.
No, imagine too, we could set it where they have that bar on the patio, that as like the background.
Oh, I would love that with the bar.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's a fun area. We could go out after.
I'm just trying to think of like other places and even like heading towards Norwalk. Because they have what is it? Yard. What's it called? The place at the mall. It's like a national chain. I think you ate there once. Yard House. Did you eat there?
Oh, at the Sono.
Okay, but wait, let me guess. Wait, hold on. Tony was excited about the food or no?
I can't remember how Tony was feeling. I think he was eventually upset too because the service was trash.
Okay.
Food was trash. I didn't think we just got an app and we were like, oh, we can't stay
We
here.
can't be here, yeah.
Or maybe but it was so bad. It was local on steroids. 50 plus tap handles, blah, blah, blah. But it's like it's trash. It was trash.
Whole
Absolutely.
organization.
Oh, disgusting, dude.
You know what is a possibility? I don't know how much pull he has because I feel like they just kind of use his name. But you think about you and Tony's connections to, and Renee obviously, to Sacred Heart. Maybe something with Bobby V's.
The diner.
No. Bobby V's like
the restaurant.
Imagine there. That would be nuts. That place is huge too.
Why don't we reach out? I don't know. We could say we're Sacred Heart alum. I'm sure.
Like, do you think? But is Bobby like kind of
weird?
No, but if we get him a 6-pack, you don't think he'll make a call
and talk Mets with Tony?
Dude, could you imagine though if we had him on for this or like Dream is Free?
Oh no, this would be perfect.
No, but I feel like he might do it. No,
we could reach out. I'm sure.
Because do you think he still has love for Sacred Heart?
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah,
Tony would know better than me. Tony's he bleeds pioneers.
Yeah,
and Renee as well.
No, but let's get Bobby V in here. Are you kidding me?
That'd be sick.
And especially to hear him, because I know he hates the Red Sox organization for what they did to him the one season that he managed. I want to say it was like 2012. They brought him in. They finished in last. They didn't like, it was just, everything was a mess. They blamed it all on him. It wasn't his fault. And then the next year they won the World Series. John Farrell is manager. Look it up.
I believe you.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious, dude. Poor him.
Yeah.
He's a legend around here.
Yeah.
He is. I loved him. And, maybe I could talk to Barbara, his sister.
Oh.
That works at Donut Inn in the morning. Tuesdays.
If, like, there's still...
Dude, I always asked since I was a kid, why the hell she's working there?
Right. No, but let's
Wouldn't you think that, though? Like, yeah, no, I'm so down. Tony, if you're listening, start pursuing.
Yeah.
Reach out to Dr. Miller, reach out to Thorne, reach out to whoever, the president of the school. You're boys with him.
Yeah.
You guys have been to each other's houses. Like, talk to him.
Yeah.
And freaking let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Bobby V's would be the spot. It's at Stanford. We could shuttle there from Barnes's house too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's perfect, literally.
And then I guess the last thing I was going to mention, I know you had, I think, just commented when we were doing the show on Friday. How riled are you for Jay Fridays on the Sports Port?
Dude, it's awesome because not to say that you and Tony and me or whatever, whoever's here isn't great. It's just Jay does he bets.
Yep.
He's a gambling man. and
Jets.
he's into the Jets, and he like brings another element to it, you know.
Yeah.
Which is dope, and he is a screen time person, so he's comfortable on camera too, and all that jazz. It's tough when you get someone in here that isn't, you know, so
right.
And they know a lot too.
But it's funny because you've seen over the years. I do feel like it's like in most cases, some people just like there's just a nervous Nelly like all the time. But you think about all the people that have like, you know, sat in here originally, like me, like the downtown studios.
Yeah.
You're so nervous from day one.
Yeah.
And then it's like so quickly that switch flips, and it's like it's just a normal conversation.
Tell them what that's like, because people don't get it a lot.
Yeah, because I think too, you know, we all have this thing like we listen to a recording of ourselves initially, not now. We're very comfortable with the way everything is, but you're like, you don't like the way you sound.
Yep.
You overthink it.
Yeah.
And then you don't realize that when you just talk how your everyday conversations would be, it actually is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think what we do so well is because you, Tony, we've all listened to, you know, sports shows over the years, and like, sure, you know, there's the OGs like Rick and Dave, obviously, but so much stuff is just so unnatural, so scripted, such an agenda. And I just feel like we're so, not to overuse the phrase, but just organic.
Yes.
That you can't beat that. And that's what I love. And it's like, I feel like we are the exact opposite of a reality show. Like, as you think about, because you know how I am.
Yeah.
I get so annoyed, and like people get so into these shows, and it's like, how do you not realize, like, the producer just went over to them and said, "You create an argument." And it's like, why does that drive interest? That's what I just don't understand.
I know.
I know you're way too smart to have ever fallen for it. Stop.
Bachelor this, Bachelor that.
Oh, Housewives this.
Oh my gosh. I know Tony.
No, but it's real. It's real.
Yeah. Tony, I know he watched the Staten Island Housewives or whatever it is, New York Housewives. I said
stop.
It's just it's mindless entertainment to like numb people.
Like literally the only value I would say out of any of those shows is when they go to sick places, just seeing what but like I'm not like paying attention to the people. I'm just looking at their surroundings.
Oh, that looks like a good loaf of bread.
Oh man.
What a Monday, dude. From thinking I was gonna be doing this alone, and instead of an hour 22 minutes, I thought it was gonna be 22-minute show.
Yeah. Here we are. Here we are. Another successful day.
No hockey this weekend?
Show. Winter break. I want to say it's Wednesday that they're back.
Wow.
I just want to double check that. Okay, no. They're back tomorrow. Rangers will host the Capitals tomorrow at the Garden. Minus 160 favorites there. So, you know, watch out for it tomorrow. We'll have a full preview of the games and kind of, what we're looking at moving forward. Will we get a Rangers Devils playoff series? I mean, that would be awesome. And it's just very interesting. I mean, there was such separation between the Rangers, between the Devils. Obviously, like any team in the NHL, the Devils have hit that period of time where they're struggling. They need to find it. I think they won their last game, but right now Rangers are only 3 points behind. So we really could be looking at a very tight finish between the two teams. It's a shame that, there's not more matchups between them. I would love to see them play 5 times this season, something like that. But, obviously you play who's on the schedule. So the Rangers will host the Capitals, and then Thursday at the Lightning. So, looking forward to that. And, okay. So then they do play on January 7th, in New Jersey. So that's their next game.
That's dope.
But because I know you just believe in like stuff being meant to be. Doesn't it seem like they have to play in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I think they will.
And I really feel like it would fully pull you back, a 7-game series in overtime, game 7.
Oh, it'd be dope.
Like
I'll be back.
Yeah, 100% back.
Yeah, 100%.
So really, really can't wait for
I'm
that.
Back.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. But other than that, Michael, anything else you wanted to add here?
Nothing really. I'm trying to think if there's anything in the weekend. No.
Boxing's dead.
Dude, it's Tyson Fury fighting all these bums. You see you eating burgers with them after. It's just sad that there's no one to. They're not putting the fights together, and the people they're putting with him are just. Here's a payday.
And I know
butt whooped.
They've tried to make it more mainstream a little bit with like stuff on ESPN, Fox, and everything. But do you think that's where they lost everybody? Besides that, the top guys, it's always such a struggle to get them together. But they didn't just make it. Back in the day, Howard Cosell and Al Michaels would call a fight on ABC. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
let's go.
Is that what it is, though? Yeah. Is that where the downfall started?
No one wants to pay pay-per-view for...
Because the guys aren't that good to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
If there's a freaking unit of fighters that are sick, then yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So... Who knows? Maybe it'll make a comeback. You never know. Crazier things have happened. But what a day. What a life. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. Checking out the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume.
Aliens 3 coming soon.
Aliens 3 coming
which
soon.
Which is crazy.
Merch always available. DowntimeTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy the games. And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are